Force.
Headshot.
Force.
Sit down.
Force.
Stand up.
Force.
Pass out.
Force.
Wake up.
Force.
Fade it.
Force.
Fade it.
Force.
Come on, Billy, pull harder.
I'm trying.
You gotta use more force.
Force.
Yes, Bailey, force.
What is force?
I don't know. I don't think I was here that day. I think we should ask Heather and Christy.
Force? Well, Shane.
Force is any push or pull on an object.
So when I was trying to lift up Shane, I was using force?
Exactly, you're exerting a force on him.
So there are different types of forces.
Of course, Shane. For example, when Bailey was trying to lift you up and you fell backwards, that was attributed to the force of gravity.
Why is there a force of gravity?
There's a force of gravity because all objects on Earth experience a force of gravity that is directed downward towards the center of the Earth. It can be calculated by multiplying the object's mass by 9.8, the gravity on Earth.
What other types of forces are there?
Well, Shane, there's also something called applied force.
What happens with applied force?
Well, applied force is when force is applied to an object by another object or another person.
So if I were to push my physics textbook like so, I would be applying force.
Yeah, that's right, Shane.
Is there anything that can oppose applied force?
That's the friction force. The friction force is the force exerted by a surface as an object moves across it or tries to. When the book slides across the surface of the table exerts a friction force in the opposite direction.
Wow, who knew?
Well, maybe if you came to class.
Those aren't even all the forces involved either.
They aren't?
Nope, because as the book sits on the surface of the table is exerting an upward force on the book in order to support the weight.
Force seems complicated. Are there any laws you need to follow?
Newton's laws of motion.
Newton's laws of motion. How many are there?
Newton has 3 laws of motion that explain the relationship between motion and force.
Newton's first law is often stated by an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force.
Newton's second law says that the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on it, and it's inversely proportional to its mass. The direction of the acceleration is in the direction of the net force acting on the object.
Wow, force.
Newton's third law of motion is that whenever one object exerts a force on a second object, the second exerts an equal force in the opposite direction on the first.
So basically every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Exactly.
Well, I think we all understand force a lot better now. And I'd hate to force you to teach us more.
That's okay, Shane, as long as you apply it.
So Shane, are you mind blown about force? How do you feel about it?
It's just an amazing thing in the universe.
If you could describe force in one word.
But I just show you.
All right, let's look at some examples of force to Shane.
Force. Also force. Force of gravity. May the force be with you.